All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going, Colts Nation and Texans fans who are watching this channel right now? Because I'm sure a few of you will check it out just to know what you're getting in Marlon Mack, even though you have seen Marlon Mack against the Texans for the last few years, 5 years now. Marlon Mack, this is about a send-off. This is Colts fans reacting to Marlon Mack no longer being on the team, and not only that, but going to a division rival, right? And that's a situation that's a little bit painful, to be honest, with a lot of Colts fans out there. But I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law, and that is my co-host right there, Colts Loyalist. Loyalist, when you heard, now obviously the news fell on April Fool's Day, so a lot of us fans was like, really? Really? Yeah. But deep inside, I kind of knew. I kind of knew that this was legit because he had visited the Texans earlier in the week, so I kind of understood that this legitimately could be a real thing, and go figure it was. Now, when you first got the news about Marlon Mack, what was the thoughts going through when you finally realized this is actually a real thing?
Well, I know you don't like us swearing and stuff, so I'll just just say that there was a lot of those thoughts dancing through my head and stuff. You know what I mean? And it wasn't. And the thing is it wasn't because Marlon Mack left the Colts. I mean, I fully expected that, and I wanted him to go somewhere to start. It was selfish reasons, you know what I mean? Because it's like I wanted to be able to root for Marlon Mack every game he played. You know what I mean? But now there's twice a year. I just got to go. Sorry, Marlon Mack, I can't do it. Not today.
Right. It's like Marlon was a fan favorite, right, for the Colts, definitely over the tenure that he's been here. From the point where he was backing up Frank Gore and learned a lot and became that very good all-around back, because he learned from Frank Gore and his running backs coach Tom Rathman a lot of stuff that was weaknesses in his game, like run blocking or pass blocking, like running between the tackles and things of that nature. And because of that, it made him a very, very good all-around back. And now, and with that, he had 1,000 yards season when Andrew Luck wasn't even, Andrew Luck retires and he ends up having 1,000-yard, 1,100-yard rushing season. Did a very, very good job, and we expected great things from him. And then the Indianapolis Colts moved up in the draft and grabbed Jonathan Taylor. And that pretty much spelled the doom of Marlon Mack, because that very season we all expected, Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor, they were going to split carries that year. Marlon teaching Jonathan a lot of the stuff that he learned from Gore and Rathman and stuff that he knows about being a professional in the NFL. When Marlon Mack went down with that Achilles tear week 1 in the first quarter, of that season, what went through your mind? Even though we had Naheem Hines and we just drafted Jonathan Taylor, what went through your mind there?
See, for me, it was much more of feeling bad for Marlon Mack. Just, man, because Marlon Mack, he came in. For me, Marlon Mack is the guy that sort of helped Chris Ballard and this organization start turning the page from the Grigson area and stuff. I know some people say Malik Hooker, first pick, number 15, in the pick. He wasn't the guy that sort of helped change that for me. For me, turning the page was Marlon Mack because of just the guy that he was in the locker room. And I'm not throwing any shade on Malik Hooker, but just for me personally, the guy that he was in the locker room, the way he handled all of his unfortunate injury history and stuff, which he's had quite a bit when he was here with the Colts. But like I said, it was just so, you know, you root for them because they're in the Colts uniform, and then you get to know them and you find out how good of a guy is, and then you root for the person individually. So when he went down, I mean, and I would argue that I would say at least 80% of Colts Nation was just like, oh man, that's just, you know what I mean? And then we brought him back, you know, last year. We brought him back, and I was like, awesome, we'll get to see him. And we understood that JT didn't want to give up we didn't want to take a whole lot of snaps from JT, but there was still that hope of getting to see him and you know, and sprinkle in there and just show a little bit what he had to offer last year. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out.
No, and the thing is, after he came back from that Achilles tear last year, you know, we got to watch him in training camp, and he had that burst. He had that suddenness, that quickness, you know, on the cut and stuff. Now, did he have the top speed that we were used to? I don't know if he was ever, you know, a burner like a Jonathan Taylor or Nyheim Hines, but he was able to get to that top speed pretty good. What I loved about him, what I saw in training camp, was the fact that he was very good at catching the football, and you know, he had that first step quick cut, and that's honestly that's something that, you know, running backs in the NFL absolutely need. And the biggest thing to me, what shows what kind of person Marlon Mack is what happened when he went down, right? When he went down, he helped Jonathan Taylor become Jonathan Taylor, right? He went down, Jonathan Taylor's rookie season, and even though he's on the sideline, knows, man, this sucks. This might be my last time, you know, being in a Colts uniform. And, you know, he still sat there and was watching film with Taylor and Hines, you know, still in that and helping Jonathan Taylor bloom into the person that he is, you know, telling him, hey, use your instincts. You see a cut, take it immediately. Don't think about it. Just go, right? Yeah. And that helped him. And you saw it become more and more reality for Jonathan Taylor as the season went on because of what Marlon Mack did. And you knew how the Colts organization felt about Marlon Mack last year because it got into a few weeks into the season, Marlon Mack wasn't seeing any touches, wasn't seeing the field at all. And then he's like, hey, I want to be able to go to a football team that's going to utilize me. Could you trade me? Could you put me on the trade block? And they were like, sure, you know, for you, I will. Not only did they do that, but they actually gave him snaps so the other teams can see what he can do, you know, throughout the season. And that, to me, shows how much respect that Marlon Mack has within the organization. Not just the players around him, but the coaches and the GMs and the ownership and stuff to actually give him those touches, even though they were taking away from Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines.
Yeah, and I want to go back a little bit more to the relationship that he had with Nyheim Hines and Jordan Wilkins and JT, you know, the following year. I mean, because let's remember, we brought Marlon Mack in, okay, and we had Rathman and Gore. The following year, Gore leaves, we draft Nyheim Hines and Jordan Wilkins, okay. These guys came in and literally Marlon Mack went from out of his first year to he's the veteran voice in that room, you know what I mean? And he really helped these guys acclimate and he put them on the right path. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Jordan Wilkins and Nyheim Hines, maybe they would have came in and been that team first mentality. I don't know. But the thing was they seen Marlon Mack and they seen how he handled every day at work and stuff and how the team was what was first. You know what I mean? Anything for the team, whatever's best for the team. And you hear that a lot of times and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. No, I really felt like it, and he showed it in his actions, that's exactly what he believed in.
Absolutely. And Marlon Mack, look, I wish Marlon Mack nothing but the best in his career. Now, obviously, he's with the Texans now, and, you know, it's kind of hard to root for the Texans when they're a divisional rival. But I hope, you know, you're going to a team now that's got Royce Freeman and Rex Burkhead, okay? I fully expect Marlon to take those starter snaps with that team, and they've been working on their offensive line, right? So I really hope that Marlon has a very, very good season and can get his career back on track the way it was before. I mean, let's face it, the Colts running back stable was incredibly deep. He wasn't going to be able to ever get where he needed to be once the Colts ended up just becoming very good at getting running backs.
Yeah.
But he's in a situation now where he could stand out in the NFL and possibly get himself a very lucrative contract. Am I saying a $10 million contract? No. I'm not saying that he's going to get that. But, a good midterm, I'm hoping for him. A midterm, like a 3-year contract of, anywhere between $6 and $8 million a year, I think is quite possible for Marlon Mack. And, he's just got to go in there to Houston and get it done. Now, we don't know the contract details yet. They haven't been published. I actually looked right before I started recording here with you. But no matter what the contract is, I really hope that he becomes a very, very utilized player, because Mills is going to love him. He knows how to run block. He could take the ball between the tackles. He could catch that football out of the backfield, right? And especially on screens. He knows how to read his blocks, because let's face it, the Indianapolis Colts, they pound that stuff into you. Tom Rathman pounded that stuff into those running backs when he was here. Frank Gore taught Marlon Mack how to squeeze between little bitty holes in the offensive line to pick up every inch that you possibly can. And
he's extraordinary at helping his offensive line, at setting blocks, at being patient. I mean, that and imagine the Texans. Okay, the Texans are in this rebuild mode and stuff. I'm sorry, this is not me being. I can't imagine too many other players that would have been a better fit for that scenario, trying to help develop this new culture and then, like you said, and be just a beast on the field, whether it's in the air or on the run game.
Well, it's funny because there was stuff out there, reports that there were a lot of teams that were interested in Marlon Mack, even the Saints. But with the Saints, he wasn't going to be the starter on the Saints. They got Alvin Kamara, right? Mm-hmm. And so he went to a team that was going to utilize him to the fullest. And I'm glad that he has that. I wish it could have been a different team, but I still wish him luck. So is there any final words you want to say before we get out of here?
I just congratulations, Marlon Mack. I pray that you stay healthy, and I hope that you have 15 excellent games this year.
15. So you're saying you hope they don't make the playoffs either. Same here, man. I hope that you have a great career, what's left of it, and really succeed outside of 2 games a season, as Loyalist was saying. But I think that's going to do it for us. Thanks so much for watching. Let us know what you think of Marlon Mack and the situation of him being signed by the Houston Texans down in the comments. Please don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, and tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time we go live or upload a video. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Loyalist. And as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.